What's going on, everybody? My name is Tomas. This is my review of the Geranos 3-axis gimbal system by Glide Gear. It is powered by Zhiyun-Tech as they teamed up to bring us this awesome little stabilizer. The motors and the preliminary design is provided by Zhiyun-Tech, and the software and warranty is supported and provided by Glide Gear. Glide Gear is stamping their limited lifetime warranty on all manufacturers' defects when it comes to this stabilizer. So that's a good thing because you're backed by any issues that may occur with the hardware with this system. The big positive of choosing Glide Gear over purchasing directly from Zhiyun-Tech, some of you may know dealing with overseas dealers, when trying to sort out any warranty issues, it can become quite difficult. Having Glide Gear, a US based company, back the hardware makes it that much less difficult. The Geranos is Glide Gear's first mirrorless and DSLR 3-axis gimbal stabilizer that is powered, and by them working with a company that specializes in gimbal motor manufacturing, Glide Gear really has a hit on their hands. I have the DJI Ronin M, and that's a great camera stabilizer, but it's big and cumbersome to use. Shooting video with the Ronin M becomes an event because you have to take time to set up and prepare your gear before you do so. With the Geranos, if you balance it correctly and use some modifications like a quick release plate, you can shoot beautifully stable footage in a fraction of the time it takes to use the Ronin M. The Geranos system is toolless, and balancing it works wonderfully for the run and gun shooter. Glide Gear sent the Geranos to me to use while I was at CES 2017, and it was a dream to use. It disassembles into 3 major components, allowing you to easily fit into most backpacks. With it only weighing 2.8 pounds with batteries, it really is a no-brainer when I considered what I was taking to CES. What you get in the box, which is a sturdy protective carrying case by the way, the Geranos 3-axis gimbal system itself, 2 sets or 4 total 18650 2000 milliamp hour batteries, which Glide Gear says give you about 6 hours of usage, and from my testing I was getting a bit more because of the camera system I'm using with it. The charger, 2 1/4-20 mounting screws, a vest, arm, and tripod holder. The Geranos also comes packaged with an additional support system that Glide Gear is calling the Horn, and it is a camera mount that is paired with a shoulder strap that gets you additional stability when using the Geranos. I wasn't interested in this because I have the DJI Ronin M, and that's the kind of setup that provides. I wanted to have the most nimble and compact system available, and the Geranos provides that. And since it provides that, it gives me the option to use it in that fashion if I want to. So it's really nice to have the additional camera support system included in the purchase of the Geranos. And before we go any further, I do not want you to think that you can buy this system, pull it out of the box, and begin shooting some beautiful footage. With all stabilizers, they need to be properly balanced before you can make or do any kind of awesomeness. The Geranos can be a bit confusing and overwhelming, especially if you're new to camera stabilizer systems. Make sure you thoroughly read and understand the documentation that is included in the system. But I do have some rules of thumb for you. 1. Start by charging your batteries. 2. Set up the camera to be ready to shoot. So put the lens that you're going to use on, insert your SD card, and put a fully charged battery in it. And finally, orient your camera with your camera's lens over the Geranos lens support on the base of the Geranos, because it is really easy to start balancing your camera on the Geranos backwards. If you remember to orient your camera's lens with the support mount, you'll save yourself some headache. And again, I cannot stress this enough. Follow the included instructions thoroughly. Refer to them again if you need to. For those of you that want to run a Sony a6300 on the Geranos, be aware of the following issues, because I am flying the Sony a6300 with the Sony 24-70 FE lens, and because the base of the 6300 has such a tight tolerance, it's damn near impossible to mount without some additional items. Thankfully, those items are something I was going to use anyway. I highly recommend to anyone purchasing the Manfrotto 323 RC2 quick release plate system and the Manfrotto Pixie Mini tripod, both of which will be linked in the description of the video. These 2 things will save you a ton of time and energy. The RC2 will make it so you can remove and replace your camera on the Geranos quickly and efficiently. Because if you balance your system appropriately and correctly the first time, every time you put your camera on the Geranos, it will be balanced and ready to go. The Pixie tripod will allow you to put the stabilizer it down anywhere you want without worrying about damaging your camera or stabilizer. It was such a huge help to have this mini tripod in the balancing process of the Geranos, in addition to being able to put the system down anywhere I want. With my camera and lens combo, the Geranos weighs roughly 5 pounds, 2.2 kilograms, which is surprisingly lightweight and makes it really easy to capture some stable footage, but over time, 5 pounds gets heavy, and having the Pixie mini tripod to place it down to take a break pays dividends in the long run. The first time I worked with balancing the Geranos, it took me around 20 minutes in total time. Expect this to take longer if you've never dealt with a 3-axis stabilizer system before. My experience balancing the Ronin M helped me big time. I must say balancing the Geranos is a really easy process after you get the hang of it. The build of the system and the way that you can make small adjustments without tools makes the process a breeze. Also, the extremely tight tolerances of the adjustment arms and indication markings on those arms make it a really easy process to measure where you have been and where you are going. That's a big deal when it comes to balancing 3-axis gimbal stabilizer systems. With all that said, let's take a look at some sample footage. The 5-way analog thumb joystick makes it easy to set the Geranos in different stabilization modes. By simply clicking the joystick once, you can switch between pan follow mode and lock pan mode. Double press and enter pan and tilt lock mode. Single pressing brings you back to the normal follow mode. You can also do some really slick motorized pans, tilts, and rolls using the joystick manually with the Geranos and your camera. It is highly recommended that you download and install the Zhiyun Assistant mobile app for Android and iOS so you can calibrate your motors, update firmware, and make adjustments to your motor responsiveness and much more if you need to. The Geranos earns my recommendation if you're someone that needs a portable, easy to set up stabilization system. It was so easy to take this thing out of my backpack, mount my camera, set up, and then get going on the tight areas on the showroom floor of CES 2017. And if that isn't a testament to the true portability of this system, then I don't know what is. Pricing and availability will be linked in the description of this video, so feel free to check that out. And before I close, I must disclose, Glide Gear was kind enough to send me the Geranos for testing and review, so without them, this video would not have been possible. Well, that about does it for me in this one. If you like this video, please feel free to give me a thumbs up. If not, hit that other one. Thanks for taking the time to watch. I'm Tomas, and I'll catch you in the next one.